And good afternoon, my next gen millionaires. How's it going this week? I'm Joe Burns. I am the Money Master. I'm here to provide awesome money tips and good conversation around money. So, if you go back in a history of this, go back a few weeks. I talked about don't chase the money. So that's a good one. Go back and watch that if you haven't. Today I want to take it. It's kind of parallel to that, but it's also a little bit different. Based on conversation and things I saw. So Debbie was sharing with me the other day. I don't know, some mailing list. She sees all these ads on social media and mailing lists and stuff like that. She's curious about all these marketing things, so she signs up for all the stuff. Okay, do you know somebody like that? Right, just doing like market research. What are people saying? What are they doing? But in when one of them, there was a girl who's I don't know what she's. I don't even know what she sells. But part of her marketing that she uses was, why can't it be about the money? People say, oh, I have everything I need, so I'm fine. I don't need more money. And she's like, why can't you make it about the money? And so we had this conversation. And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, you can make it about the money if you want. But again, she's missing the mark, right? And if you all know me and you've watched anything I've ever done, right? You know that I always had my tagline's like, it's never about the money. So if it's not about the money, what's it about? So I want to talk about that a little bit today because there are a lot of people I run into. There's like, oh, no, I'm fine where I'm at. I have enough. And I'm like, okay, that's just kind of weird, right? And I talk about money and I'm like, hey, you want to make more money? They're like, no, I have plenty of money. I have what I need. I live a nice life, right? And I hear all this stuff. And cool, if that's where you feel like you are, that's awesome. The problem is we use that as an excuse to not really look at what's happening in our lives. So if you're one of those people, I want you to like dig down deep and think like when you say you're fine, you're okay where you're at. Really dig down and be like, am I really fine? Do I have enough money for everything that I want to do? Or do I have enough just to live comfortably and deal with it, but not really fulfill the dreams I have? Because there's a difference. And I hope you see that. Like, there's a difference in when we get into really the reasons why we do what we do. Now, for all you entrepreneurs out there, right, and people who really want to make a splash in this world, really have these big dreams, like, money's one resource you need, but it's not the only resource you need. I talk to all my clients about this because we have these big desires and dreams that we want to create impact, right? And leave some type of legacy. And money is one of those things, but we need people too. We have to have time to do it. We have to have energy to do it. If we get wiped out, we can't do it. But when we come back to this conversation of, do it for the money, put the money up there. I mean, it's going to resonate with some people because some people think money are going to solve all their problems. And I'm here to say that money's not going to solve any problems. There's a very small portion or percentage of people, especially in America, where money will solve their problems. And that's because they don't have shelter, they don't have food, they don't have clothing, right? They don't have some of those basic necessities they need. Food will solve that, right? Or food, money will solve that. Or food will, right? And that's why there's food banks or low income housing or these things that will solve the problem of their immediate need. But past that, money's really not going to solve any of the problems. And every time we focus on money, we're going to get less of it, and we're actually still not going to get to where we want to go. So when you hear yourself being like, I'm fine, that's a key word. I hate fine. It's the other 4-letter F word that I really hate. Well, not that I hate the other one, but I really hate the word fine. Because fine is a complacency place that we've been relegated to of like, just, we're doing fine. Like, how can I better say that? Like, it just, it makes me so grippy because we're not really being honest with ourselves when we say we're fine. It's a place of complacency that we've accepted where we're at because it's the best we can do. So when people say they don't want to make more money, I believe them a lot of times because they don't want to make more money and they're usually not living the life they want to live. They're usually complacent with where they're at. They've settled for where they're at. So you got to ask yourself, have you settled in your business where you're at, that it's just fine, that you're making, ends meet, you're making the bills, you have enough money to pay your bills and earn a decent income? Are you fine with where you're at? Because if you're fine where you're at, I would say that it's time to up level that. It's time to up level that from fine to amazing and awesome. And it's possible. But you have to be aware that you're living a lie right now. And that lie is that you're fine where you're at, because you're really not. And sure, you can make it about the money. Like, go for it. You're not going to be happy when you do. I mean, we're talking well past that next level, right? But when we've had enough of fine and we want something else, then it's time to figure out what it is that we want, right? And there's that burning desire in each of you that wants something different. So when you find yourself saying fine, ask yourself why, right? Have you compromised on a dream you wanted? Have you compromised on the current state of being where you're at? Are you in a place of where you're actually just, you don't want to grow anymore? And again, remember, it's okay to go after more money, but money's not the end product. You're going to get burnt out. You're going to get tired. You're not going to like what you're doing if you're just chasing the money. So don't ever chase the money. Again, go back and watch the other video. We find more enjoyment in the passions we have. But a lot of times society and people around us have told us that, oh, this is the best it's ever going to get, so why work so hard? As entrepreneurs, we're going to get stuck in that cycle too. Be like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to build my business. This is where you're at. And even after you've built your business, right? Even after you're making 10, 20, 30 million a year, maybe more, there's still going to be struggles and things you run into. If you keep chasing the money, then you're going to lose sight of why you're really doing what you're doing. And eventually you will burn out. Money is not the thing to go after. Go after your passions instead. Because when you do that, you're going to stay committed to what you're creating. And you're not going to let money influence what you create. It's definitely a byproduct of your work, but it shouldn't be the work. Okay? So just some thoughts I had like going around, like I read that and I'm like, yeah, you can tell your people to go after the money, but it's only going to work for a short while for them. And you're probably finding a behavior of people signing up for your courses or your coaching or whatever it is that you're selling. And then they're falling off and not actually completing it. Because again, nobody really responds to money. I just want you to sit with that. Nobody really responds to money. So what's that passion? What's that thing? Now, money's a good thing to reflect back to us and all that fun stuff, right? If you've watched any of my other videos, like, again, I could talk about money all day long because it tells us so much about ourselves. But you got to figure out what you're selling for in your business. And it's time to change that. Because that's going to be one of the kind of cogs in the machine that's holding you back from doing what you really want to do. One of that's making more income so you can do more things, right? Money is a very good gateway into really creating that true impact and legacy that you're trying to leave behind. And not that you have to focus on what you want to leave behind. You can participate in that while you're still around. Okay? So think about that. When you think about legacy, it's not just what you want to leave behind, but be part of that legacy as well. Participate in that wealth that you're generating at the same time. So again, think about it. What are you selling for, right? Do you really have what you want, or are you settling? Because my guess is you're all settling a little bit here and there. There's some place you can find. So just ask yourself where you're fine, and that'll be a great indication of, okay, it's time to change this one thing. Disruption is necessary for there to be change. So disrupt some things. But first you got to figure it out. So that's my words of wisdom about money this week. Don't make it about the money. You can go after the money, but it's not going to really help you out in the long run. Go after what your passion is. Figure out what is just fine in your business and change that. And as soon as you do, you will start to see progress, I guarantee. So until next week, we'll catch you later. Bye.